Hello, Angel here. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. If you're new, thank you for stumbling upon my channel and watching. And if you're a returning subscriber, hello, welcome back. Lovely to see you. So today we are doing a wrap up for February. Things that have been feeding my soul and filling my cup during the month of February. Now I didn't do one of these for January, so it might well be that maybe some things from January maybe slide in. It's a bit of a blur the last 2 months, so forgive me if there are a couple of extra decks to show you and things like that. I will try to keep this video as short as possible, but you know how things go. Okay, with that being said, let's jump in. We're going to be showing, or I'm going to be showing, the decks and the practices that I've been using the decks for first. So let's jump in with those. Okay, so these are the 3 decks I've been working with the most in February, and maybe even in January actually. This is the Earth and Bone Oracle. This was a Kickstarter, I believe, and it's gone mass market. Hurrah! Beautiful gilding. Then we've got the Darkwood Tarot that needs no introduction. If you've been on my channel and watched any of my videos, you'll know that this is I'm going to say a ride and die deck actually, to be honest. It's my deck that taps me into my shadow side, my jaded self. And this one is the Lopatin Oracle, Low Scarabeo deck. I just mine in blue. And yeah, these decks have been so amazing this month, and even last month. Sorry, just before we go any further, I'm going to apologise. I've got a bit of a cold, so if my voice is a bit strange or I'm coughing and spluttering, you know why. Yeah. So I've been having an amazing journey with these 3 in January and in February. I think I mentioned in a different video that I've been feeling really drawn to wolf energy, not as an animal ally energy, but like working with my inner wolves, my dark and light wolf within, if that makes any sense. And these 3 decks have like really been tapping me into that energy. So there's quite a few images of wolves in, I would say all 3 of the decks actually. This one was on pre-order at the end of last year, and I think I got it maybe in December, I think. Yeah, and I was already working with these 2, and I pulled this one forward to work with these other decks, and it was just like boom, it blew my mind. So yeah, I foresee me working with these, it's going to be an ongoing practice, most definitely. So I think these are going to appear in March's wrap up as well. So yeah, those were the 3 decks I've been working with the most. I can't really say much more about my my whole inner wolf practice or journey that I'm on. All I can say is that it all connects with my facets of self work that I'm doing, which I'm going to speak about a little bit more a little bit later in the video. So we're going to come back to that, I think. But yeah, I'm loving these 3. An amazing combination, I've got to say. So usually at the end of a month, I start looking at my tarot shelf and my oracle shelf, and kind of feel into which decks I want to use for the up and coming month. And I didn't do that in January or February. I was kind of like flying by the seat of my pants and just going intuitively with what felt right with each reading that I was doing. Anyway, I saw a video by Ruby. I believe their channel is Ruby Reads Tarot, and they were talking about the This Might Hurt Tarot. Now this is the French version. I purchased this version before I knew the mass market one was coming out in English. Yeah, so I saw them working with that deck or speaking about the deck, and I was like, I've got that deck. I should totally pull that out. I never use that deck, so I grabbed it out, and to be honest, I've looked at it several times, and I was like, once I've had it in my collection, and I was like, no, don't really feel called to work with that one yet. I'll leave that on the shelf. And in February, I was like, yes, I've got to work with this deck. So I pulled forward the Animal Apothecary deck as well. I've edged mine in red. And these 2, they were amazing. They were really, really good. Now, I work with these 2 with a new Instagram tarot challenge that I'd found. I believe the account name is Coffee and Cauldrons Pod. No, wait, Cauldrons and Coffee Pod. No, wait, I'm going to put the name on the screen, and I'm going to try see if I can link it in the description box. Anyway, that was like a self-knowing, self-love challenge for the month, and I used these decks surprisingly, as well as a couple of others which I'll show you in a wee second, and they were amazing. These, I mean, obviously this is a clone, right? It's a clone. It's a RWS clone, but I don't know. I've never felt drawn to it previously. And just this month, it was like, boom, it just worked. Isn't that interesting, the way that can be in your collection? You know, when you don't feel drawn to a deck, you don't feel drawn to it, you know, you don't feel drawn to it, and then suddenly, pang, you know, you're all in, you're in it to win it, you know, you can't put it down. Isn't that, I think that's quite bizarre. Maybe it's just me. Love this. And I was actually really in on, because I hadn't been using the deck at all, this one, I was thinking maybe it's the titles that put me off because they're in French. I mean, I don't speak French, but, you know, it's a Rider-Waite clone, and I have other decks that are in different languages that I don't cut the borders off because the titles don't bother me. So it obviously wasn't just, it just wasn't its turn to work with me yet. Love this. So yeah, so these two were amazing. They're now sitting in my tarot cart. I need to get a bigger tarot cart. I've got so many decks. That cart is, the wheels are going to fall off soon because there's so many decks in that cart. Let's move on to the next decks. Now, speaking of decks that I felt, you know, strangely drawn to, this was another one in February. This is the Moonchild deck, indie deck, beautifully gilded. I used to use this for full moon readings, and I haven't used it in about, well, since I've moved apartments, which is almost maybe like 6 or 7 months ago. And possibly a few months before that I hadn't used it. And when I was using this one, I love the images, I love the guidebook, but you know, sometimes that's not enough. And although I was, every full moon I pulled this deck out to read with it, I was still like, I didn't feel a connection to it. I was kind of just going through the motions of pulling it out because I really wanted to bond with it. So once it went away for a wee while, I noticed now when I pulled it out in February that I'm suddenly seeing something else in the images that I didn't see previously. So I think that time away from this deck really did me good. And the full moon reading that I did in February was like, it was like totally spot on and really, really powerful. So I think putting this one away for a while and using other decks for full moon readings really helped. Yeah, I mean, look at this. This card came up again, and obviously, you know, the wolf energy is really speaking to me at the minute. So whenever I get a wolf in a card, it speaks to me of this healing of facets of the facets of myself. That didn't sound correct, but I hope you let me rephrase that on the screen here now. Let's let editing out Angel you know, fix that for me. Yeah, so I don't know, this just spoke to me differently, and that's the same again when once I mentioned that you know, previously, that, you know, some decks, they don't speak to you, and then suddenly they sing their messages. So that's that is a lesson I've learned previously with decks in my collection. And obviously, you know, I'm still a newbie, but obviously I'm learning more and more every time I can learn something new every time I pull a card or do a new reading. So maybe it's not so strange that decks that haven't spoken to me previously, you know, start speaking to me a couple of months later once I've grown in my tarot understanding and knowledge. Hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm rambling. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. I'm going to show you the next deck. So my animal ally energy has been nudging at me in the month of January, February. So these decks have also been brought forward to be worked with. This is the Raven's Prophecy Tarot, and I haven't edged mine yet. I need to do that. I've got to do that. And these are the Shamanic Medicine cards. Now, I understand if you think that these two are a bit of a strange combination, but I promise you, they so work. It just works. It's very bizarre, but it just works. So yeah, I've been feeling this like nudge from my animal ally energy, and these two always come out. They're like dedicated decks to my animal ally, and I don't even remember how I came upon this pairing, and to be honest, I don't even remember. Sorry, let me just grab the cards that fell on the floor. how I discovered that my animal ally was my animal ally. That's very bizarre. I need to go back and read in my journals. But it just, anyway, that's irrelevant. I'm babbling. Stop babbling. Concentrate. Focus. Um, so yeah, anyway, these two came out. They pair fantastically together. My animal ally is not a raven, FYI. My animal ally is actually a bison. I'm going to speak about a bit more about that in possibly this video or Thrifted Finds video, because I've got a bit of a plan for my animal ally. So yeah, so these ones I was working with, and then I pulled this card as a stalker card a couple of times during the month of January and February, Medicine Wheel continuation. And in the guidebook, it mentions about creating your own medicine wheel, which didn't feel right to me. I didn't want to do that. So instead what I did was I read up on the medicine wheel instead. And what I was reading and seeing was that the medicine wheel, the main colours in the medicine wheel are yellow, black, white and red, which suddenly got me thinking about this deck. Now this deck is the Wild Unknown Alchemy Oracle, and I purchased this one as a birthday or Christmas present, I can't remember. Anyway, and I bought that deck because I'm in a temperance year, and you know, temperance year, temperance, alchemy, you know, I wanted to kind of get, you know, go into that I wanted to kind of, you know, what's the word, investigate or explore that. So when the medicine wheel was mentioned and those colours were mentioned in the medicine wheel, this deck came into my mind because I'd just been starting to research and read the guidebook. And the main colours in this deck, or in alchemy, are black, white, red and yellow. So yeah, so it brought this deck to mind, brought this one forward, absolutely blew my mind. I only pull one card because I'm going to show you the guidebook in a second. There's a lot of information in the guidebook and you can really dive deep with the guidebook, which I love. I'm totally becoming a fangirl of Kim Krantz. It's taken a while. I've had the Wild Unknown Tarot for a long time. And then maybe last year sometime I found the niche, or found the, I found what that deck was going to be used for in my practice, which was connecting me with in nature. Yeah, and then I purchased the archetypes deck, which I really enjoy. And then this one, I kind of expect this one to be a slow burner because the other two have been slow burners. And this one, like straight out the gate, it was like, you know, in my face, you know, it worked amazingly well. Love the readings. I'm definitely going to show you the guidebook to give you a bit of an idea. It's not a deck that I would use intuitively at all, but that's fine, that's fine. This is the guidebook. If you've got any of Kim Krantz's guidebooks, you'll probably know the setup of them, but I'm going to give you a bit of a wee look inside. A black and white image, which is fine. The number, the title, then you've got 3 keywords. Then you've got your explanation, which is totally enough. You know, you can really dive off of this and, you know, go deep into your reading with just this information. But then you've even got a go deeper prompt. So this one says, look at Terry O'Neill's photographs of David Bowie in 1974. And you've even got a to ponder prompt, which is transition as teacher. Actually, this was the last card I pulled, actually, strangely enough. Then you've got here, yellow rides a fine line in art. The colour is often interpreted as cheerfulness, covering turmoil, as seen in the late paintings of Van Gogh. So that gives you another, you know, another prompt to kind of dive into. And then you've even got another prompt here. Imagine a rainbow with no yellow. The colours remain static, disconnected. The gift of yellow is the bridge of all phases, the full expression of life's spectrum. I think I've been having such an amazing epiphanies with this deck. I really have. So I only pull one card and it's kind of become tethered. Oh, that's a great word, tethered to my animal ally energy and these 2 decks. So whenever I pull these 2 decks, I've been pulling this one as well. Amazing. I'm going to speak a bit more about my animal ally in a wee moment. Let's look at some a couple more decks I've been using in the last month. So these three don't need any kind of introduction. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen these a squillion times on my channel. All three of these are favourites. They're a favourite combination of decks. These decks I used for Dawn Michelle's Fellowship of the Weaver practice. I'm a weaver, and so every month there is a new, I'm going to use the word quest. So I've been feeling a real need to use like kind of fantasy decks for Dawn Michelle's practice this year, or so far in any case. I'm going to show you two more decks that I used in conjunction with these. I'm not going to show you these because I've shown them so many times, but there are two newer decks that have come into my collection at the end of last year, which I'm just going to show you, which I used for the same practice. So those were the Green Witch's Oracle deck and the Gospel of Aradia by Stacey DeMarco. Now, both of these are mass market. I had this on pre-order, and I had this one, which was wrapped up in my low buy year scratch the itch stockpile. If you don't know what that is, I will link a video in the description about my low buy intentions, or my low buy year intentions for 2024. This is basically 12 packages which I bought last year, wrapped individually or kept them in their packages, and my plan is to open them one a month for the year of 2024 to scratch the itch of buying new decks. Do you think that's working? I'm going to update you on that in another video. Anywho, so here we go. This is the Green Witch's Oracle deck. Beautiful backs, I love them. Unfortunately, I made not a rookie mistake, but I edged it in the wrong colours. The purple's too vivid, so I'm going to have to rethink this and do something about it. Anyway, that's irrelevant. Let's have the cards up the right way. That would be quite handy. Thank you kindly. Then we've got the Gospel of Aradia, or Aradia. These are the back, which I think are beautiful. A for Angel. No, I'm joking. And that is mine in gold, because who doesn't like a bit of gold? And these two are also decks I've been using for Dawn Michelle's practice. Love them. I love the art style in this. Not so much this, but I really enjoy the guidebook. So much so that both of these decks have now become like dedicated to the Weaver practice. So my plan is to use these for the whole of the year. Yeah, so I'm really, really enjoying them. I do have a couple of other of Stacey DeMarco's decks, which are currently eluding me. Oh, no, I'm going to put the names on the screen. Oh my goodness me. I think I'm going to blame it on my cold today that I can't remember what I'm trying to talk about. I have to keep stopping the video to blow my nose because my nose keeps running and I keep coughing. I'm, falling apart here. So yeah, I'm supposed to be talking about decks. I'm talking about my cold and my health situation is not good. Yeah. Anywho, loving both the guidebooks. I wouldn't say that. I would say this one is more intuitive for me than this one is. I tend to go to the guidebook always for this one, although I like both guidebooks. But they've just been playing really nicely together. They've been playing really nicely with the fantasy decks, or yeah, I'm going to say the fantasy or witchy decks I've been pulling forward for Dawn Michelle's practice. So yeah, been really, really enjoying them. Take two more cards, and then we're going to move on. If you can hear that squeaking, it's my shoes I'm wearing. I'm not doing very well today, am I? I'm having a bit of a crisis. So yeah, most enjoyed, most welcome into my collection, and looking forward to working with them for the whole of 2024. Okay, so I've got one final deck to show you just before we move on to other bits and pieces. This was also a tried, tested and much loved deck this month, and since December actually, I've got to say. This is the Season of the Witch in bulk deck, and this has been totally rocking my world, and not just rocking my world, but also it feels really relevant for now, even though in bulk has been and gone, because we've had so much snow here and it's been so cold, and this totally feels like the season that I'm in still now, here and now. This is what it looks like outside. Obviously not the people in a circle doing some kind of ritual, but I mean, look at this, it's so cool. I love this. This totally gives me a wolf vibe. It might not be a wolf, it might well be a fox, I don't know, but I'm seeing it as a wolf, and I'm going with it because it totally speaks to me. It just totally speaks to me. So this feels so relevant with the work that I've been doing with my inner wolf. yeah, and the facets of self-work. I'm going to speak a bit more about that in a wee second. So I've been having an amazing journey with this one too. Luckily, the snow is finally melting. I'm so glad, because I do love snow, but we've had snow for like 4 months or something like that, and I'm ready to see some greenery. I bought these two forward actually because, or this deck forward, because I was going to talk about some stalker cards I've had this month. Apart from the card from the Shamanic Medicine Oracle, these two have also been stalker cards this month, which really resonates with how I've been feeling since January. This like, need to slow down and almost hibernate. That vibe I've been having since January. So Winter Woodlands, take time to honour what you feel. Self-compassion is the healing balm you desire. And then we've even got Dawn, slow it down, move slower still, become the witness swelling in presence. So yeah, that's been a real synchronicity. And as well as these cards, I pulled a message from the Ancestors and Angels, or Angels and Ancestor Oracle, which is my dedicated deck for my ancestral practice. And this was the card I pulled, which was totally relevant again. Winter, take care of your needs with the wolf energy. It was like, yes. So that's also been sitting on my altar this month. I need to sneeze, sorry. False alarm. Don't you hate that when you think you're going to sneeze and it's a false alarm? Oh no, my eyes are watering. I'm in the right state here behind the camera, I promise. Holy moly. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, I was talking about my little altar. I've fixed a very mini shrine to some wolf energy. I've pulled out this card at the beginning of January, I think, from the in bulk. I actually pulled it as a daily pull, which is totally relevant to me again. Dark days of winter, I must seek to befriend the hidden parts of self, the darkness that embraces the whole of who I am. I mean, if that doesn't speak to this, healing facets of self-work that I'm doing, I don't know what does. And this totally feels like a wolf, but it's probably a fox. But I don't care. I don't care. For me, that is a wolf. It's artistic license, right? Yeah, definitely. I've also pulled forward the sevens from the Mary L Tarot, which is a white wolf and a dark wolf. And that's also sitting on my little mini shrine. I've also got like a little, I should probably just take a picture and show you of it. And also put this stone on. This reminds me of wholeness, this circled stone, which I got on holiday. Actually, I treasure hunted it on holiday and brought it home, which was very naughty. I don't recommend doing that, but I did because I'm a naughty girl. So yes, those were the decks. There were quite a few decks I've been using actually. Didn't think I had been, but I have. I have been using quite a few. Yeah, let's move on to crystals I've been working with this month. That would be selenite and even rose quartz. I'm even going to say I've been working with lepidolite quite a lot this month. Although I've been sleeping with, that always sounds very bizarre, doesn't it? I've been sleeping with selenite under my pillow. I've felt since January that I needed like a reboot or a reset, and this felt like a no-brainer really for the whole cleansing aspect of it. So this has been, I've got this dotted around my home, on my lounge table, in my bedroom, all over the place, and even rose quartz. I always have rose quartz in my bedroom. I've been wearing rose quartz since January. Yeah, which kind of also leads me on to some spell work actually as well that I did in February. Let's get into that. Let's pop these out of the way, and let's speak a little bit about the spell work I've been doing. So if you've followed my channel for any length of time, you'll know that I like arts and crafts, and I like art witchery, and I like bringing artwork into my spell work or into my workings. And at the beginning of the year, I don't know why, but whilst working with this facets of self and this release of things that are keeping me held back and pulled down, I'm going to say, old behaviours and old stories, I started thinking about Jacob Marley from Scrooge and the chains that he carries, which obviously, through because of the sins of his life. But I started thinking of those chains that Jacob Marley has. as a way to represent the old stories and the old behaviours that I'm still holding on to. So I don't know if you did it as a child as well. When I was like in infant school, like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, at Christmas time we would make these paper chains made out of paper, obviously, coloured paper. I'm going to pop a picture in here now. And then we would take them home and, you know, be hanging them up. And my mum was really kind and she used to do that because, you know, my mum was, you know, lovely. And I was a child, obviously. So she hung them up. But anyway, that was irrelevant. That kind of jumped into my brain. And I started to make paper chains of my own. So I just cut strips of paper, and when I was journaling and doing my readings with my cards, some things that started to come up when I was journaling, I started to write, you know, just like a paraphrase of whatever I had written in my journal on these strips of paper, and then made them into chains. And I kept them on my desk and in view for a month and a half or something like that. And then at the dark moon, or the new moon, sorry, in February, I decided to do a poppet spell. Now I have 3 different poppets. I have a child version of myself as a poppet. I have a jaded self poppet, which is like my shadow side. And then I also have my, I don't know, just me, myself, as a poppet. I don't know. I don't know why. I just felt drawn to have those 3 poppets. Anyway, and so what I decided to do was create a binding working, and a healing working. So I've got those 3 poppets together. I'm not going to show you that because I don't tend to show my poppets on this channel. But I did some other artwork which I can't show you either because it's in that working at the minute, to do with the poppet working. And the chains that I had created, which I will pop a picture in now, I actually burnt as part of the ritual whilst doing that spell. And what I also did at the same time, I sat here at my altar doing it, I created I'm going to call it a mandala, but I don't know if that's maybe not the right word to use. And this is made out of rose quartz and lepidolite. Lepidolite is really good for change, it's good for transition, it's good for helping to move past old behaviours and old stories that are holding us back. So it felt like the perfect stone to be working with. And you'll notice here that there are 3, 3 and 3, which are to represent the 3 poppets and the 3 like versions or the facets of self. And then I've even got sections of 10 here as well, which for me represent like completion or wholeness almost, which is the meaning with this. It's, you know, compassion and self-love, and to be gentle with myself whilst trying to release those old behaviours and move forward finally, instead of letting those old stories, you know, drag me down and hold me down. So when I burnt the chains, that was kind of representation of I'm ready to let it go, I'm ready to move on. And this was an old pendulum which I'd never used. This is clear quartz, which I programmed as part of this working. So yeah, so I'm really happy with this. It's got a really beautiful energy. I only wear it at home. I don't tend to wear it at work because that would be, you know, a bit silly. So I wear it in my free time, and I wear it when I'm at home. You know, just you know when I'm about out, you know, here and about the house, you know, as it were. But I love it. I love it. So this sits charging on my altar by the spell, by the working, when I don't have it on. I feel like I'm babbling now. Definitely babbling, and I should move on. Some other workings that I did. This was back in January. This was at the dark moon in January. Again, through tarot, for the use of tarot as a tool, an oracle, I came upon this epiphany, this like realization that I had been holding on, grasping onto this little tiny glimmer of hope that one day my sisters will reconcile. Unfortunately, we've got some very, very difficult family dynamics, which I've kind of skimmed over on the channel previously. And without realising it, I've been holding on to this very tiny hope that one day, by them reconciling, we can become a happy family again. And, you know, and it's always, I think this came up especially, or this epiphany came up especially because we just, you know, Christmas had just been and gone, and Christmas is a really difficult time for me because I don't see my family, and it's a whole thing. And so yeah, Christmas is very difficult. Once Boxing Day's out the way, I'm fine, and even New Year, I'm fine. But Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, it's really tough, really, really tough. Anyway, so that's irrelevant. So I did this beautiful release ritual at the new moon, so the dark moon, and instead of binding, which I did with my facets of self, I did a. My mind's got a blank. Oh no! I'm going to say a release spell, or release working, and it was absolutely amazing. I'm going to say that once I kind of didn't plan the ritual at all, although I'd done the journaling a couple of days previous. When I was, you know, in on the, it's a dark moon today, and I was like, I know what I need to do. I need to do this, and so I pulled some things forward, got on the floor, got down and got dirty, and just did it on the in the moment, and it was so good. It was exactly what I needed. And once I'd done the ritual, completed it, and was kind of packing away the things that I'd pulled forward, I put Spotify on just on random, just to kind of bring me back to the moment and to kind of ground me. And the first song that came on was Annie Lennox and Aretha Franklin's Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves. And I was like, mind blown. I was absolutely amazed. It was almost like a confirmation from the universe that, you know, my sisters, if they want to, which they don't, and they never will, heal their relationship and reconcile. They've been enemies for like 30 plus years. It's never going to change. They need to do that for themselves. And me releasing that control of that hope that they will do that. It felt like it was the right thing once I'd heard that song. And I actually had the same experience with when I was doing my poppet ritual. When I was sitting in front of my altar here, going back to my mandala, I'm going to call it, or my necklace. I had Spotify on then as well, and I'm going to pop 3 pictures up of some songs that were playing at the same time. Also, I had my Spotify on random, and I'm going to pop 3 pictures in now. These songs came up whilst I was making this, and I was like, it was like a sign from the universe. It was so amazing. That's the only word I can think of, is amazing. It was like confirmation, like, yes, you're pointing towards your true north, you're on your path, this is what you should be doing, you know, go you, from the universe is what I felt the message was. So, yeah. Very happy with the workings that I've been doing this month. I have been also doing some spell work, which I mentioned, not spell work, sorry, art witchery. I can't show you that because I've got some other workings in progress and that's being used there, but I might be able to show you that in next month's video. I've also got another art project on the go, which is something to also do with my facets of self. I'm filming that now, so keep your eyes peeled for that. That's coming up maybe in a couple of weeks once I finish the project. Yeah, what are we moving on to? Let's move on to thrifted finds, maybe? Let's do that. So, thrifted finds. Woo-hoo-hoo, exciting. Yeah, let's start with some eBay finds. Let's do that first. So eBay, I found this beauty. I'm going to use this as a spell vessel. It opens and closes. It's got these beautiful little bells on. And I really like it for the fact that it opens up, obviously. I don't know if you can see in there. No. But there's nothing exciting in it at the minute. I haven't used it as yet. And I haven't cleansed it either as yet. It turned up very recently. Love the bells. I love that it activates the working. I love that. We've got 3 jewels on the back and 3 jewels on the front. We've even got one on the top. And I like this for the 3 facets of self that I'm working with: the inner child, the shadow self, and the version of myself that I want to, or, you know, I want to obviously heal all of the versions, but the 3 poppets it feels relevant to that. So I think I'm going to use this as a spell vessel, and I love it that it can be carried or worn. I love that. I think it's amazing. So yeah, a bit of a jewellery vibe going on this month actually with Thrifted finds. Let's grab this one. Then I also found this on eBay. It's like a silver enamel bell, which I really like. I want to wear this. I think I'm gonna bless this and dedicate this to cleansing, obviously, because it's, you know, the sound cleansing aspect of it. And I think I'm gonna wear this when I'm at work, because there are certain times throughout the day that I really need like a reset or a cleansing. So I think I'm gonna use it for that. Speaking about my animal ally, I really feel the need to create a shrine to my animal ally. Now, I do have a representation of my animal ally sitting on my ancestor altar. I can't explain why, it just feels very relevant, that it just feels that it needs to be there. And I found this on eBay just at the beginning of the month. This is hematite, and it's a little bison. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. Let me just do this. It's a really cute little bison, and I was like, yes. And I don't tend to work with hematite, but hematite makes so much sense with the bison energy, that, you know, earthy, grounded vibe. And I've been wearing this since I got it home, and I obviously cleansed it, and yeah, it's just been. I'm going to say I'm quite often like a highly strung poodle, and when I've got this on, it totally, you know, not pulls me down. That's the wrong thing to say, but it just totally grounds me. I feel like I've got my feet firmly on the ground, rooted into the earth, and I feel centered. That's the word I'm looking for. I feel centered, instead of usually feeling like this, you know, highly strung poodle, you know, all over the place, a bit chaotic with my energy. I just feel centered, and that's totally what I need. That's what I needed in January and in February, with this whole, you know, taking things slower, pausing, reflecting, resting, taking care of my needs. That's exactly what I needed. Anyway, so I've also been the last week I've been carrying hematite with me in my brassiere. This is a piece of hematite which I have. Yeah, and I just feel really, like, as I mentioned, I just feel really centered when I've got it with me. I've also been, actually, the last couple of days I've been carrying tourmaline with it as well, but that's when I've been at work. That's not when I've been at home. Anyway, so yes, that was that. As well as that, going back to my animal ally, I want to create a shrine. I don't know if I mentioned that. And I purchased some shelves on eBay, which I'm going to pop a picture in here now. Don't be fooled by the decor of the shelves at the moment. They are going to be totally revamped and painted, and they're going to look beautiful, I hope. So my plan is to use those little, they're very quite small. They look quite big on the picture, but they're quite small. My plan is to, you know, overhaul them, revamp them, and pop them on my ancestor altar, and have like a little shrine to my animal ally. And I purchased this little fellow also on eBay for that purpose. So yeah, so because I feel that my animal ally that's interesting actually, is a masculine energy. I've never thought about that until now. That's never struck me until now. Isn't that interesting? And I only say it's interesting because I've never ever had any kind of deity that's come through to me that's been like a masculine energy. That's really interesting, and that's generally because I have, if you've seen in my videos, and I'm possibly oversharing now, I do have a bit of a problem with the masculine, the male species, tyvärr, unfortunately, sorry. So that's really interesting. I've never thought about that before. Oh, well, there you go. You learn to make new every day. So he is going to go on my animal ally shrine when it's been revamped, and I think hematite is also going to go onto that altar because it feels very relevant. I need to sneeze. Sorry. Wait. Dagnammit, it was another false alarm. I hate that. My eyes are watering again now. if I need to sneeze next time, I'm not going to warn myself because it totally puts me off. Okay, sorry. I'm so sorry. Other thrifted finds. Oh yeah, I found a super duper web page. No, what was it called? Web shop. It's called a web shop, a secondhand web shop online. And I bought a couple of super duper bits and pieces from there. Starting with this beauty. I believe this is agate. And I think this was £5 or £6. I think it's agate in any case. And what drew me to it was the flame, the flame form of this crystal. On this website, there are, or web shop, they don't just sell crystals. They sell clothes and books and electronics and ornaments and everything you can think of. It's just like a charity shop but online. Anywho, so I saw this and it wasn't advertised as agate, so I don't know what it is, but I believe it's agate. It reminds me a little bit of what's it called in English? Is it called flower agate? I'm not sure. Anyway, it's cleansing at the moment, and I bought it, or I felt drawn to it because of the flame. Drawn to the flame, haha. Because this year I want to embody the Knight of Wands, and I've set up a little altar on my self-love altar, dedicated to the Knight of Wands energy. I might pop a picture in here. It's in the first stages of creation, so I'll put a picture in. I'll let you see. Anyway, so this is to go on that altar. Sorry for the sniffing and the coughing and the possible sneezing. Also on the same website, I found this bag of stones. Now, these were advertised as decoration stones, but to me, in the picture, they looked like rose quartz. And I was like, oh, and they were £4. And I was like, oh, I was already purchasing this one as I throw it across the desk. And I thought, I'm gonna risk it and I'm gonna buy it. So I thought that was quite a dinky little bag, and this turned up, obviously. And these three pieces, this one, and this one, were also in this bag. And I've compared these to some raw rose quartz I've already got in my collection, and I'm like 99% sure that these are rose quartz. So I got a whole bag of rose quartz, and there were two pieces which I believe are clear quartz, raw clear quartz in here as well, and I believe a piece of amethyst for like £4. I was so impressed, and I'm gonna, obviously there's lots of pieces in here. Sorry, I'm sniffing, I'm so sorry. I want to dot these around my bedroom. I've, as mentioned, I do have some rose quartz in my bedroom, but I want to add some more. And there are some, obviously this bag has been through a bit of a journey, so there are some smaller pieces that have broken off, which I want to use for other workings. I'm going to add them to my apothecary and have them as almost like crystal chips, I think. I was so impressed with this, so impressed. So yeah, oh, I forgot to put those back in. I'll do that in a wee second. Yeah, so I was most impressed. I think I've got one last thing to show you, which was a thrifted find. Let's take a look. Okay, so I've actually got 3 more things. I miscalculated. Okay, on the same website that I purchased the crystals, I found these beauties. They were like £1 each. Aren't they beautiful? And they're called Formana or Formana, or maybe that's just the person that created them. I don't know. Anyway, anywho, they were still on the second-hand web shop, and I just thought that was so cute. So these are sitting on my working altar. They've been cleansed and blessed, and they're sitting there, and I just think they're gorgeous. I think they're so cute. So now, hear me out. I saw this on eBay, and I purchased it because it reminded me of the sun. Now, don't make any judgment. Don't make any hasty judgments. You can see my ring light. Apologies. And I thought the sunflowers were real because the rest of this this stuff in here is dried. So I assumed these were real. And when I got it home, I was like, when I received it through the post, I was like, oh, no, I don't think so. Anyway, so I was a bit disappointed. This is made of glass, and obviously you can pop a candle in here. But when I turned it over, there is a cork which is removable, which totally makes me think that gives me the idea to remove the cork, take all this stuff out, clean it, cleanse it, and use it in my facets of self-work. And I'm thinking of filling it with herbs relating to my intention, some rose quartz, and some other goodies which I don't want to go into so much, and then activate it with the candle and have it, sitting on my self-love altar. So I'm totally in on that idea. I think that's going to be a great idea. So what I thought was going to be great was not great, can be salvaged, I think. So yeah, most impressed with that. I'm going to pop a picture in for the last thing because I can't show you it from here. Funko Pops. I've wanted to, I've been looking out for Funko Pops. Alice in Wonderland and The Wizard of Oz. And I was so lucky to find secondhand on eBay a whole collection of Wizard of Oz Funko Pops, and I purchased them. I'm so happy with them. I'm popping a picture in here now for you. They are also sitting on my self-love altar because, my inner child loved, and actually I still love, The Wizard of Oz. And I especially have a real fondness for the Wicked Witch of the West because, who doesn't? So they were a total bargain and a total find, and I'm so happy that I got them as one collection. The seller was selling them as a collection, not just as, single Funko Pops. So happy, so impressed with that. So yes, that was that. What other things have I been up to in February? Oh, I think you might have already known, I added this in my intentions video, which I released recently, my meditation space. That was something that I did in front of my altar space. I sat there and sewed this massive cushion. I had this cushion which I had salvaged or, borrowed, not borrowed, salvaged when my workplace was throwing out an old personnel sofa that we'd had in our staff room. And I was like, are we throwing this out? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, can I have one of those cushions? Because they were really big, the cushions that they have on the back of the sofa. And I was thinking that's going to make a perfect meditation cushion one day when I get my finger out and, sort myself out and make a little meditation space for myself. And they were like, yeah, have it. Do you want more? And I was like, no, because I was thinking, where am I going to store these big cushions? One I thought was going to be enough. Anyway, so I finally got my finger out at the beginning of January, I believe, end of January, beginning of February, sorry. And I sewed a cushion cover for this massive cushion out of an old rug that I had. So I did that in front of my altar space, and I added some knot magic into when I was sewing. It was a whole thing. Love it. So I'm going to pop a picture in here now, which I think you've already seen, because I added it in another video as well. This is like my little meditation space, which is sitting in front of my moon altar. And I don't know, it's just so cozy. And I've also purchased one last thing, which was actually new, which is very unusual that I purchased. I'm not going to show you because you know what they look like. I think some earphones, some big earphones, like the old-fashioned earphones. I'm going to pop a picture in because I'm explaining very badly as usual. And wireless, Bluetooth, all that malarkey. And I purchased them because, unfortunately, when I'm sitting in my meditation space, I have my kitty cats that are doing this in my ear. So during meditation, I am going to have these, use the earphone, what are they called? Oh my Gordon Bennett, my words today are terrible. Whatever this is on the screen, those things I'm going to put on my ears so I can listen to some very calming meditative music and, concentrate on my meditation without having any kitty cats, these two monsters meowing in my ear for food, basically. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. YouTube channels I've been watching. This is going to be a long video, apologies. YouTube videos I've been watching. Yes, let's talk about that. Beverly Butterfly, amazing. I stumbled upon their videos, I think, through 12 days of not 12 days of Christmas, 12 days of, it was either The Occultist, the tag that they did over during Christmas. Oh, I found quite a few new channels through that. I'm going to put the name on the screen, I can't remember. Anyway, Beverly Butterfly, love their energy, so sweet. If you haven't seen their channel, go and take a look, go and give them some love, and maybe a like and subscribe. Also, Thoth TV, I stumbled upon just totally by accident. They had an amazing video on like spell jars, which like totally made me think in a different way about spell jar workings. I'm going to put their video in the description box. I would most definitely recommend them. And yeah, I think that was it basically. I've been trying to stay away from video like deck unboxing and things like that, mainly because I'm on a low buy year and I don't want to be tempted to purchase anything new. Yeah, what do we think? Are we done? Oh, I want some advice. I'm going to show you this before I leave you. Before I love you and leave you, I'm going to show you this. This was a Kickstarter that I got. Oh, I had backed last year. Got it home, packed it up for Christmas, opened it at Christmas. Feel slightly disappointed by it. I mentioned this in another video, I think. I don't like the box. I think the box is a big pile of pants. I'm sorry. I don't tend to be negative, but what can I say? What can I say? I haven't looked at the guidebook. I've just looked at the deck. And I think I showed you this in my new deck collection video that I got for Christmas and birthday. I don't like the borders and I don't like the banners. So I'm still contemplating cutting the borders off. What do you think? Let me know. Otherwise, I'm seriously thinking of like rehoming this deck. And I can't concentrate on the beautiful artwork because of the borders. All I can see is the borders. I don't know, and I don't know why I need advice. I feel like I need permission because it was an expensive deck. It's an indie deck. Oh, and I don't know. I don't usually, like I said, need a permission from anybody, but I really don't know what to do. And I don't know. I love this. I don't know. I think I would prefer it if there weren't. I think I would use it if there were no borders on here. I don't know. Let me know. What should I do? I'm going to do a SOS again. Please let me know in the comment section. Should I edge it? Should I not? No, not edge it. Should I lop off the borders or should I not? Please let me know in the comment section. Oh, holy moly. That's it. I'm done. I'm out of here. Have a lovely morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Apologies for the erratic, random, highly strung poodle energy. I wasn't wearing my hematite today. Take care. Hope to see you in the next video. Toodaloo.